Hey, you're listening to Don't Lie to Your Life Coach podcast with Kim Arrington. I'm Kim Arrington. I'm a life coach, a weight loss coach, an author, and a badass passionate about helping you connect back to your most authentic self. Join me here each week so I can coach you on how to think all those juicy thoughts that get you feeling your absolute best and taking some big ass action. Coaching has changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm here to give you real life solutions to create a life you'll love. Because the truth is, boo, you ain't just got problems, you got options. Hey, y'all. I decided to pop in. Here's my assignment. Now, if you are listening to me on the podcast, then you are not understanding my pain. If you are listening on YouTube or Insta or the book, if I make this into a video, however I do it, I have tasked myself with looking into the damn camera. I have been going back looking at videos and I look over here and I look over here and I look over there and I'm looking everywhere. So I'm going to look in the camera. Today I decided to come. I walked in the woods. Prior to this, I did not feel like getting jazzied up or drawing even on eyebrows. So if you're watching me, you're getting, but I think I look super damn cute. I got to say, you're getting in the woods, Kim. It's so funny. We had a big storm here and tornadoes. My family, we were spared. Everything was fine. But I was sitting upstairs and I was cleaning. I was flipping my closet. So I love cleaning out my closet. I know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Let me move this box. It's too close to me. I'm sitting cross-legged and keep hitting the box. So anyway, I like to flip my closet. It lets me see the clothes I forgot about. It lets me try on things. I've lost a lot of weight, so I've gotten rid of a lot of clothes, and so I love it. So I'm literally in a lapa. And a lapa is basically a skirt you normally wear around your waist, but I'm wearing it around my shoulders, and I'm taking it off and trying on stuff. So I'm pretty much naked. Okay, I got on drawers, I got on underwear, and I sit down in our studio and I am thinking about a dress that I have someone who I want to put it online to see if somebody wants it. And all of a sudden, Alexa screams at me, alert, take shelter. So I literally run to my room, grab a sweatshirt and sweatpants, not even a sweatshirt, it was a shirt. I was just like, if a tornado hits and I walk out and I'm fine and I'm naked, like, I can't. Now, of course, y'all, please let me be sensitive. That's what I was thinking. Obviously, people, if I walk, it's an insensitive thought, but this is what I was thinking. I'm just being honest, y'all. You may not like it, but this is what I was thinking. So I grabbed that. I had my computer. I ran downstairs to our interior room. I was by myself in the house. I grabbed 2 pillows off the couch because I was going to sit on the floor in the interior room. And luckily nothing happened. The house was though shaking. It was pretty scary. But anyway, I'm telling you this really long story because the preserve that is across the street from me, it sustained a lot of damage. There was even a tornado touchdown. Now, y'all, sustained winds can do so much damage. There were trees down everywhere. And so it's changed my route to be able to go into the preserve. So I have to enter from a different way. And because there's a lot of growth, it's like some areas where it's up to my shoulders, I've decided to stop going that way because I'm a country girl, ticks, honestly, I always have protection with me in the woods, but the biggest issue would be ticks. Mosquitoes don't really love me because I have my blood type. I don't know if y'all know this, but mosquitoes like type O, B. I have a type A, and so they don't love me. But I put it on anyway, because anyway. So the point I'm trying to say is, when I was in the woods, I went a different way, and it was really it was disorienting. Now, I have walked this path probably hundreds of times, right? And this particular time, just going the opposite way, felt like, I mean, I saw things I noticed. I saw things I recognized, obviously, but it was such a different way to enter, to go, to move through it. And I want you to kind of keep that in your mind today, because we're talking about people pleasing. There's a long ass metaphor to get to the point, right? We're talking about people pleasing. And when you begin to pull back on your people pleasing, and I'm gonna tell y'all, midlife, it's gonna happen. You're gonna be so unhappy if you've been a lifelong chronic people pleaser. And for folks who may not know what that is, that means that you generally are trying to be the person that you perceive the other person wants. And the problem with people pleasing is that when stress builds up, resentment, well, there's a lot of problems with people pleasing. When all that stuff comes to a head, the real you comes out, but it's got resentment and anger. And you really, a lot of times, people pleasers, here's a moment for you to really listen and hone in on. A lot of time, people pleasers are behaving in the way they want to be treated. So if you're, say for instance, you're the person who always volunteers in your kid's classroom, or you're the person who always volunteers, those people generally want folks to volunteer to help them. So think about it for a minute. Your people pleasing tactics, right? What you do. And think about what you're doing. You often want unconsciously for someone to do for you. Okay. We get into the meat and potatoes, the jackfruit and the kale, and I haven't even gone far. So, but my whole point about this is, it's been a busy morning. So I'm preparing for a race, and I went to the track to run. The track gives me confidence. It's flat, it's easy, it's predictable. And I just wanted to get a quick 2 miles in and to push my pace. So when I was coming home, I recorded this thing. So, I feel like I'm super clever because I actually I did a voice memo on my phone, and then I dictated to Google Docs. So I'm going to read. And when you do the voice typing on Google Docs, it gives no punctuation. So this might be a little rough, but I was not going to sit there and manually dictate anyway. So here's the thing on people pleasing. Why do we people please? Okay. Because something happened so terrible, so horrific, so unexpected in your childhood that you would do anything to never have that happen again. Okay? So what you do to have that never happen again is you become whoever you think the person wants you to be. You listen. Your body actually registers. It's looking at their reactions, their tone of voice, their body language. And you all, this happens when kids are 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, where your brain cannot possibly understand what the adults are thinking. But it becomes an adaptive strategy for survival. The next podcast I'm going to record after this one, and I promise you I'll put them together, is survival mode, because people pleasing and survival mode go hand in hand. Okay. Another reason why people please is because you did show your authentic self, and the reaction to the authentic self, you felt rejection, you never saw it coming, and you decided in that moment unconsciously you would never show that person again, and that you would betray yourself instead of being accused of betraying others by being your actual self. Woo, y'all. I was a chronic people pleaser. I could say amen on this, okay? Because you were so scared that the people who were supposed to take care of you, and maybe those people, they definitely had their own trauma. We all have our own trauma. Maybe they had addiction issues. Maybe they were sad. They were depressed. Maybe they were immature. Okay. The people who are supposed to take care of you, you thought they would not take care of you unless you created a totally pleasing person, or to their specifications. This is where you get those whole don't act like a girl when it's a boy. Why are you crying so much? You're so sensitive. And you may hear some things you've said, right, to your kids. In the course of this, you may feel some guilt, you may feel some shame, but we're not talking about, y'all, we've got to take a moment to let go of what we've done to other people. That is the core of people pleasing. It's about the other people. I need for you to focus on yourself right now, not what you did with your kids, not what you did to your mama, what you did potentially to yourself. Okay. So in that becoming that totally pleasing person, you may become the exact opposite of who you really were, because your ability to read the room, or so you think, is so, advanced that you might be several different people to the people. Okay. So there's a big place with people pleasing where when you anticipate the needs of others, which we really cannot do, but it's a survival trauma tactic, that we want to be needed. That's at the core of people pleasing. We want to be needed. They need us because without us, they can't, and you fill in the blank. But the other core of people pleasing is controlling others. Controlling others to control your environment, to try to feel some semblance of safety. It does not work. Okay. This is how the chameleon type people are born. The chameleon type people are the ones who become all the different folks. That's self-betrayal. That's self-betrayal. Okay. It's not controlling people. It's not controlling anyone. You think you're controlling yourself. You are often seething with anger and resentment and want desperately to be liberated from a life of people pleasing. So there's hell to pay. There is hell to pay when we are not allowed to be our authentic selves. Okay. Let's talk about some of the things that people do that make people pleasing feel like the only route. And remember, you might have made this decision when you were 7 or 9 or 5, or maybe even 2. Okay. The reason why we people please is that we're scared of being punished with silent treatment. Oh, I could write a book on the silent treatment that I received as a child. Okay. Abandonment. Check for me too. Name calling, violence, threats of violence to others, Okay. And shame and guilt shows up. Shame is we are not good enough. We are flawed. We are not worthy. Guilt is I am wrong. I did something wrong. I need to feel bad because I am wrong. And this can lead to literal death. And it damn sure is the roots of addiction. So you need to know this. Addiction that has a behavioral component to it, a huge behavioral component, which is a disease. The roots of that is shame and guilt. Okay. So there's hell to pay. And another reason why we people please is because our society tells us that men do this and women only do this. And actually that there's only the identity of male and female. Y'all don't like it when I start talking like that. My authentic self does not just see gender as male and female. If that is what you choose, feel like you were born at, whatever it is. But my authentic self does not see male and female as, the only way to be. I want to be really careful when I say choice too. I want to go back and take that out. I'm not going to get very deep into that because honestly, I still am learning from people, but I will tell you this, that I don't need to feel safe by thinking that there are two genders. I don't need that. Okay. Sometimes we people please because we see someone else who is rejected. I want you to imagine you are a gay kid growing up in the 80s and you see another kid who all the kids have identified as gay and the way that they are treated. Do you think you're going to go running into a room professing that you're gay? No. Okay. We see how other people are treated. This often happens too with older siblings. We see how an older sibling does it and the younger one decides, oh no, I can't do that. If my sister and mom have a difficult relationship, then my people pleasing is going to be that I am always there for mom, or I'm always the good kid, or this brings a lot of contention between siblings. Okay. So let me keep going. The hell to pay. I thought about a Fiona when I recorded this. I had to sing the Fiona Apple's, line, the lyric, and then I had to go listen to Fiona Apple after this. But Fiona Apple has this line in a song where she says something like, I'll never live the life that wakes me in the night. And that is really what not being authentic is. You're going to be awakened in the night. Your nervous system is going to be twitchy, always trying to take in information to keep you safe, always protecting an identity that you don't even know why you're protecting. You've just, to be honest, you're protecting it because you've done it for so long. So this is what my girlfriend and I have a girlfriend, she and I talk all the time. We talk about this is the reckoning, that you're going to have a reckoning, that life is going to break down, that life is going to break you open, that you are going to meet someone who has traits of your authentic self, and it's going to be painful, but you're not going to be able to turn away because your soul feels that pull. And you might call it chemistry. You might call it this undeniable thing between you all, but your soul is recognizing its original self in another. And how we often react in that is we don't like the person, at least initially, or we try to get closer to the person to know them because our soul or even our brain has globbed onto there's something that feels undeniable. And that undeniable thing is you. And, the reason why people hate these kind of late life, midlife, and late life declarations, I don't even know what that means, y'all, is because a person has always been a certain way, even if the shit ain't true. And then they come back and they say, I'm not this way. And the amount of fear, abandonment, let's go back to that, you know, that list of how we punish, it takes us back into that when we've had it in childhood. And, this is really painful when a person may come home and say, I don't want to be married anymore. Or, sorry, y'all, to keep using, the gay thing, but that I'm gay, or I hate the job I'm in, and they may be the breadwinner, or I don't want to live in this area anymore, or I don't want to live in this house anymore. Or when you're dealing with another person, you are risking through relationship them evolving in a different way than what you expected. And the gift of that for you is you realize that you don't need someone's evolution to be what you want. That is a sense of control. I don't want to diminish the pain that comes with that. Yes, you can own that pain, you can grieve it, you can feel it and then release it. But what I want to say to you is that our safety does not come from another person. And that too could be your liberation from your past trauma responses or people pleasing or the such. I know. Child, I could write a book on people pleasing, and then I could write the book on getting over it. So, what do you need to let go of the self betrayal of people pleasing? Well, let's get a working definition of self betrayal, right? Self betrayal is when you're willing to, well, the betrayal of yourself, but it's when you're willing to do whatever it takes to not allow the truth of who you are. That's self betrayal. So, what do we do? What do we do? Okay. I'm going to tell you something. This kind of work right here, I really believe requires a witness. And when I say a witness, I probably mean a witness slash guide, someone who more objectively can look at things. And that could be a coach, that could be a therapist, that could be a support group. That's the accelerated path. And just a note on this, the first person, excuse me, that you find may not be the right fit. That might not be it. Okay. You would have to, here's another tactic. I have a person who I'm in a weight loss accountability group with, and she came up with this brilliant idea of a master's in me. A master's in me. Now I'm going to veer off her course and say what I think a master's in me is. It's really getting to know yourself, the self you denied and you pushed away. And I just want to say a little note on narcissism. It's like narcissism is this big buzzword. Narcissism is so directly related to this that a child suffers such horrific mistreatment or is put into a golden child situation where they have to, hold up the family name, or they are not allowed. Narcissism is all about not being allowed to be your authentic self and actually destroying that self, like not allowing yourself to go back to that authentic self. All these things I'm telling you with narcissism, it's very difficult because the narcissist does not even know that there was an authentic self. They believe the fictional self or the self they've created is the self. Woo! Yeah. Okay. So getting to know yourself, like I always go back to that scene in Runaway Bride where Julia Roberts always answered. That's a good people pleasing movie, by the way, to watch. She always answered, "What eggs do you like?" by the guy she was dating. And I remember that scene where she put all those eggs out and she taste tested them to figure out the eggs she liked. That is kind of what Masters of Me is. That's kind of what getting to know yourself, like deciding your likes and your dislikes. And let's take it another level, deciding what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate anymore, what's okay for you and what's not okay for you anymore. And news flash, this can take a long time. So many of us have been decades with people pleasing. Why is it unreasonable for it to take 5, 6, 10 months, years, 10 years to recover yourself? And instead of looking at it, here's a big aha, instead of looking at it as a terrible thing, the amount of time, what if it becomes a process where, yeah, all the emotions come up, but some of those emotions can be joy, can be gratitude for finally giving yourself the opportunity to know yourself. Okay. So giving yourself as much time as you need is essential in any type of healing work you're doing. And baby, if you are letting go of people pleasing, this is the healing work. Okay? You are deciding that you matter more than what the other people think, than the other people's opinions, their recriminations. Okay? So here's the final thing I'm going to say. There's a book, I haven't read it. I think it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. Y'all, and there are a ton of books out here. You can dip your pinky toe into this, okay? If you throw a rock, you're going to hit a people pleaser within a centimeter, all right? So it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us, and it's a bunch of us who are in recovery, okay? You're going to have the courage if you want to let go of self-betrayal, which is really what people pleasing is. And I mean, and there is a nobility at first. We do want to help people, right? We do, but then it veers off into darker territory, okay? So you got to have the courage to be disliked, the courage to be misunderstood, the courage to be rejected, the courage to build a new community. I will not say the name of this particular person. They're a Facebook friend. I don't really know them well. But this particular person hung very hard with 2 other people. I mean, they were inseparable. You saw them all together. And then the shit hit fan. And friendship was not there anymore. And I watched with a lot of curiosity and admiration her rebuild herself outside of those huge bonds of relationships that she had with these people. And I'm going to assume the other people did. For some reason, she came up the most, probably because I felt a little pull to her, And so, you have to be willing to create a new community or find your community, find your people. Your people are out there. And it may take a couple of times. I don't laugh, but I do. When people are like, I'm over dating. I've just done all the dating. I'm like, there are 8 billion people. You went on 3 bad dates and dating is terrible. Perspective, attitude is going to be everything. Y'all know I don't believe in toxic positivity, but I do believe in, I'm going to say, pushing yourself a little bit before you're ready. Doing the thing before you feel like you're ready to do the thing. Continuing, looking at a numbers game, like, okay, if I'm going to try dating, I'm going to date 25 people and see how it turns out versus 3. Okay. So yeah, I want to really encourage you. I have such a long and laborious relationship with people pleasing. And it was professionally. We didn't even talk about that. Your boss as your parent, that you have to, make them happy. And the parent you have was never really happy, and it wasn't your job to make them happy to begin with. In friendships, being the friend who has to do all the things. In your family, being the rock of the family. Honey, that's people pleasing. So the question you're going to ask yourself today is, do I fucking want to do it? Why am I doing it? If I do it, is it the accolades that I want, or is it because I want to do it? Those are the questions, my friends. Those are the questions, and keep asking them and answering them until you get where you want to be. All right. See you next time.
Are you feeling what you just heard? Good, good. Repeat after me. You don't have to figure it out on your own again anymore. I'm here to help. Head over to kimarrington.com and download my free video series dedicated to getting you feeling your best right now. Look around, there's some good stuff waiting on you. Got questions? Well, we're always talking on the socials, so find me on YouTube, Insta, and the book. Don't be shy, y'all. Go listen to another episode or join me here the same time next week. Finally, don't keep good shit to yourself. Share this with a homie that could use some help too. Remember, we're not lying to ourselves anymore. We're not lying to our doctors. And you damn sure don't lie to your life coach.